We heard a lot of insults. We heard that they're a threat to our national security. And that's a flat-out lie. According to DHS, Madam President, the greatest domestic threat facing the United States comes from, quote, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocate for the superiority of the white race, not our immigrants.
I feel like I was just called a racist white man. That's not appropriate, because we should be here getting along with each other. I don't think we should be saying those things on the Senate chamber floor. I find that very disrespectful.
This is being supported by a broad coalition, especially those that some of the minority members have looked to as a guiding light. This is being supported by law enforcement. And this is simply about allowing folks to drive safely and navigate our roads legally. And if you care about public safety, you would support that. You'd want to know who are on our roads, and you'd want to support them in that. And our immigrant community are not here to break the law. They're asking to drive legally. They're asking for a driver's license so that they can obey the law, they can drive their families to school, they can do what they need to do. And they want to do that, and again, legally. We also heard that this is a national security issue, which again, that is not true. The fact is that our communities are much safer with our immigrant population. They contribute immensely to our state, and we're all better off because of them. And you heard my colleague, Senator Dr. Mann, speak about the contributions they made, especially during the pandemic, doing their jobs and risking their lives, doing jobs that no one else wanted to do. And they should be commended for that. We heard them being called terrorists. We heard them being called drug dealers. We heard a lot of insults. We heard that they're a threat to our national security. And that's a flat-out lie. You want to know who the real threat is, Madam President? I'll give you a hint. They don't look like our chief author. They don't look like the folks up in the gallery. They don't look like the folks out in the rotunda. They look like many of the members that sit in the front. And you don't have to take my word for it. According to DHS, Madam President, the greatest domestic threat facing the United States comes from, quote, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocate for the superiority of the white race, not our immigrants. We are safer and we're better off because of them. This has been a 20-year-long battle and injustice, and we're here to right a wrong. And I urge a green vote from our colleagues. Thank you.
Senator Wiesenberg.
Thank you, Madam President. I feel like I was just called a racist white man. That's not appropriate, because we should be here getting along with each other. I was not raised that way. I was raised to treat people equally and with respect. And I don't think we should be saying those things on the Senate chamber floor. I find that very disrespectful. I'm not going to go back and debate everything that was talked about tonight, but that was not called for. We didn't call anyone terrorists. We said that we're afraid that this could lead to that. We're not calling a group of people terrorists. We're not saying that they're going to create these acts. We're just looking out for everybody.
I'm not confident that we don't have people in our midst that are terrorists that may want that driver's license.
Millions are pouring across. There's no way of vetting them. And terrorists can come across, come to Minnesota, get a driver's license, get on an airline, and fly off in an airplane.
That was uncalled for. I wasn't raised that way, and that's just ridiculous. And now we're hearing how people think about us, and that's very disgusting. Thank you.
First of all, folks have been fighting for 20 years to get this. 20 years. And you might not agree with everything on the bill, but the truth is, law enforcement likes it the way it is. Businesses like it just as it is. Community likes it just as it is. There's not a single group that wants to change this bill. And Senator Howe, I understand your concerns around national security and 9/11. But let me make something clear. People who are US citizens also commit crimes. It's not just immigrants. There are bad people everywhere. And when someone does something wrong, we should hold them to the full extent of the law. And I'm with you on that. I too want to protect our national security. I too am a US citizen. I also care about these things. But I also care about the people who are fighting to follow the law so they can drive. They are asking us to not drive illegally. These folks have been telling us for 20 years, let me get a driver's license, please, so I don't have to drive without getting a driver's education. They want to do the right thing. Please vote down these amendments.